Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to share the information I have on health and help those who are struggling against diseases, because there are remedies out there, natural remedies that you can use other than the drugs. So I'm here to help people, assist them with that understanding and that knowledge. Generally, people call parasites, that's the term we use for behavior of microbes. Microbes live in your body at all times. You cannot live without parasites. They keep your brain and your eyes clean. It's just called a microbe. But when you feed it too much of a certain food, the population grows to a large extent and attacks your body. So what we're talking about is you're feeding a population, like putting them all on alcohol. So you're going to have alcoholics. So you're putting all of these parasites on white sugar. Now you're going to have a parasite epidemic. But if you didn't eat the white sugar, there wouldn't be the parasites. See, the parasites are just opportunists. If you don't provide them the garbage to eat, they can't live. But if you keep giving them garbage, like fried foods, white sugar, bleached white flour, you give them garbage, then you get flies. And those flies are called parasites. But in science, we call them microbes. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just you feeding them the garbage, and that's why they come. You stop eating the garbage, you won't have the parasites. It's not a problem with the parasites. The problem is you feeding them. And that's what we're not aware of. So people go into this scare, oh, I got parasites. You better have parasites to keep your eyes clean, your brain clean, your system clean. But if you give them garbage, then you're going to get garbage parasites. You're going to get some thugs. You can get some drive-bys. That's what I'm saying. You're breeding a bunch of hoodlums in your body, and you call them parasites. That's all it amounts to. The problem is you feeding these hoodlums something that they want. Probably giving them some cell phones or something. I don't know.
Still standing here strong. Against all the wrongs. Against all the wrongs for my leaders that's gone. All my leaders that's gone. Although they did you so wrong, I still standing here strong. Against all the wrongs.
Our elder brother Lloyd is in the house. How are you,
Fine,
brother
Terry.
Lloyd?
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
How you
good. I'm
doing,
good.
Elder? How you doing, Elder? What's
My
good?
man, my man. What's up? What's up, Rich? My man. Virgo
Pleased to see
7.
that smiling face. That's all. That's what we need. That energy to uplift us and take
Yeah.
us into a
Yeah.
new zone of history and culture. I love it.
Yep, me too.
Mhm.
I'm feeling. I'm feeling that piece that you got around your neck there. I'm liking that.
Yeah, this is created by Hank Risingson, one of the giants on this side of the pond, okay? And
All right.
he comes up with magnetic bracelets, and these are some of the things he's done. The guy's just a genius, you know. So anyway, though, Brother Michael was very, very interesting, deep in his knowledge. And actually, when he talked about the king in the 16th century, we've walked this earth before anybody else, okay? Whether it's back in Egypt or whatever the case is. So, you know, so it doesn't surprise me to find a king back then and before then. When I went to Hawaii, for example, and I visited one of the volcanoes, they had pictures of the original Hawaiians that look just as dark as you and I. So again, it's just a tribute to how long we've been here. We are the first persons on the planet, and it doesn't take away from anybody. And I think it's interesting that when we say these things, people get the impression that we don't like other people. It has nothing to do with that. It's just historical facts that we of African descent are the original man. That the oldest human relic is found in Kenya called the Kenyapithecus, which is the bones of a woman, an African woman. Cleopatra definitely wasn't Elizabeth Taylor, but those are some of the things that are projected in this world. Anyway, for those that are just catching me for the first time, Brother Rich and Terry, I am an astronumerologist. I deal in the metaphysical science of numbers. Numbers, no matter what you do, invade your life. You cannot do a complete a day from beginning to end without a number. So, for example, I had a challenge. So when everybody was in lockdown here in the States and really around the country, I had a $100 challenge. I would show a $100 bill on the screen, and I would say, "This is yours, absolutely free. However, you must tell me how you're going to start, begin, and end your day without using numbers." I defy anyone to try to use or go throughout a normal day without using numbers. So, for example, Rich, let's say you get a call. Well, that's coming by way of a number. Suppose you got to dial somebody, you got to use numbers. Terry, let's say you want to, when you're waking up, you want to see what time it is. That's numbers. If a person goes to a doctor, they measure their blood pressure, their cholesterol level, their weight. And in fact, one of the things that have bothered people here in the United States is how sports has been because of this pandemic. How is an athlete or how's a spectator going to know the score if numbers aren't shown? But numbers are an ancient African science. So if one understands that, then they don't have a problem. Now, there are certain religious bodies that feel that what I do goes against the laws of God, but it's not. Religion, gentlemen, is a belief system. This is why man goes to war against each other. So in Ireland, there's the Protestant and the Catholic. In India, there's the Muslims and the Hindus. You know what I'm saying? But name me a war, Richie, found in the sign since man has walked this planet. Name me a war fought in the sign of Virgo, your zodiac sign. Or Terry, name me a war fought in the sign of Scorpio. Or in your case, Rich, the number 7. Or in your case, Terry, the number 3. At least what I do don't create any war, doesn't have a desire to take people off the planet. Here it is you have in this country where the defense budget is worth trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. For what? Okay? So for those that do have problems with me, believe me, it is not. I do refer to the Bible as a numerology book because if you go to the Old Testament is called the Book of Numbers, or the Book of Moses, which is the Book of Numbers, where Moses is instructed by God on the second day of the second month to name the armies by their name and their poll. You cannot go to any Bible, Talmud, Quran without having some chapter by number, some passage by number to guide you as to where to go to get that lesson for the day, that moral thought or compass for the day. Everything is ruled by numbers. Everything. And for anybody who think they can give and start a day without numbers from beginning to end, please reach out to me. I want to know how you did it. But even if you reach out to me, you got to reach out to me by computer. And this program with 0 X's and 0 X's. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do it. I really, really don't. You know? So what happens is this. This year, 2020, is the year of the 4. How? For those that may be new to this, is simply the addition of the numbers of 2020. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4. This is called the universal year. Then there's the personal year. So if you took your personal year, Richie, like if I took September 7th, I believe it is, right? So if I took September the 7th, added it to 2020, your personal year is a 2 or master number 11. If I took Terry's numbers, who is November 12th, if I took his, he is in a 9 personal year. So for Terry, it is about endings, making dreams come true, avoiding any friction, any static away from people. As for you, Brother Richie, this is a year to partner with people. So I wouldn't be surprised if people don't ask you to join in with them, to come on board with them, to let's teamwork with them. And since 2, your cycle that you're in rules the female principle, it tells me that women will play an even stronger part in your life, whether it's your lady, your mom, your grandmother, an auntie, a daughter, any female is likely to play it. Now, it's not that you are a player, as they say here in the United States, you know, a ladies' man, but women will just be drawn to you. This year, for example, since if you look at a 2, it's shaped like the intestines of the stomach, which means it wouldn't surprise me if since late last year through now, you've really done a overhaul of your diet. So, for example, yes, you may have been a vegetarian, but now you might decide to go more plant-based or get more into the next step of raw vegan. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature that gets you. As for Brother Terry, this is a year of dreams come true. Things that he's been finally wanting to do is now coming to pass. It means he's in a cycle that's global, universal, international. For those who happen to call in today, they will find out. So, for example, let's take Majestic that was on earlier today. She's January the 3rd. So she happens to be in an 8th cycle year. So not only is Majestic in a business cycle, she's also in a pregnancy cycle too. It's interesting when I say that to a woman, all of a sudden they don't know how to spell the word pregnancy. Like we men don't know how to spell the word commitment. Is it 1 T, 2 T's? How many M's up in that joint? You know what I'm saying? So, but this is a year for her to rocket her career, rocket it and take it to the next level. For you, my friend, Richie, it is about being patient, take your time, be persuasive, be receptive, be more listening. This is why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So this year, it would be more for listening and giving advice based upon things of jumping to conclusion. As for Terry, this year just says for you not to rush, not to push anything or force anything, but let things happen more organically. So what I want to do for those who are new to numerology, let me tell you about the esoteric side starting from 1 to 9. Persons will say, well, what about 10? Well, in numerology, there's a method called the Fadic system, F-A-D-I-C. The Fadic system is if there are 2 or more numbers, you add it till you get to 1. So for Terry, born on the 12th, he's a 3. Why? Because 1 plus 2 is 3. So if you got Quincy Jones, the famous musician here in the United States, composer, he's born on the 14th day. 1 plus 4 is 5. So the numbers only go from 1 to 9. So if they say, what about 10? Well, 1 plus 0 is 1. If they say 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. If they say 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, and so on down the line. So let's start with the number 1, which is the number of creation, the number of beginning, the number of direction. Number 1 indicates people, especially if you are born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th, or come under the sign of Leo. That means that your job, your destiny is to break new ground. Number 1s are winners. And they always say, what? A winner comes in what number? They don't say 2, 3, 4, 5. They say a winner comes in number 1. And so therefore, they are groundbreakers. They go where, shall we say, no man goes before. They're daring, innovative, pioneering, inventive. They like to take charge rather than be bossed around by other people. Number 1's best day is always on a Sunday and a Tuesday. Number 1's best time of the year is always around in February, followed by August. So for any number 1 person out there listening, or anybody under the sign of a Leo, they would find that this particular month should be very dynamic for them. The next number is the number 2. Now, oh, by the way, the number 1 is ruled by the sun, because the relationship between astrology and numerology are the planets. So thus, me, I'm an astronumerologist. Kaya French, that was on earlier this morning, she is an astronumerologist too, which means we happen to blend the best of both worlds, which is astrology and numerology. And so this is why every Scorpio is the same. You know what's interesting, Terry? I met a woman one time. She said, man, I date this Scorpio. I'll never date a Scorpio again, another Scorpio. But we tend to generalize, which is the nature of it, not understanding that not all Scorpios are the same based upon the fact of the numbers that guide them. So now let's go to the number 2. The number 2 is just the opposite of the number 1, where the number 1 is masculine, forceful, determined, assertive. The number 2 is passive, receptive, gentle, kind, understanding. The number 2's gift is the gift of persuasion. So if you take the analogy of the number 1, let's say Samson in the Bible was the number 1. He beat back all the soldiers that came after him. But the Pope switched up the strategy and said, little old Delilah up in that piece. She didn't have no gun. She didn't have no knife. She was just looking good, smelling good, and seduced his butt. Thus the nature of women. So I try to explain to women, this is why it's easy to seduce us. I mean, y'all are charming. They smell good. They look good. They feel good. You know, all the things that make us. So we got to use a little self-control, but that's the nature of a 2. And so 2 people are receptive and gentle. They're kind, sensitive, artistic, romantic. And in fact, if you look at the number 2 and how it's written, it's almost shaped like the intestines of the stomach. Thus, the cycle you're in, Richie, which is 11 or 1 + 1 is 2, would indicate a change in diet, more attention to the stomach, or things of that nature. The best day for number 2 is always on a Monday. Their best time of the year is always in May, but especially the month of July. Okay. And the number 2 also governs the zodiac sign of Cancer. Now, next is the number 3. That is anyone born on the 3rd, the 12th, like Terry, the 21st, or the 30th of the month. Or if they're under Pisces or Sagittarius, because astrologically, these numbers rule these particular signs in the zodiac. Well, number 3s are very creative. Number 3s are very imaginative. Number 3s are very innovative in the things they do. The thing I like about number 3s is when you tell them they can't do this and they can't do that. Let's say I'm talking to Terry, right? And I'm giving Terry a reading, and I know he's born on the 12th. I said, you know, Terry, looking at this, man, you're going to be a complete failure. Well, all I simply did unknowingly is set the seed for his success. When you talk to a number 3 person, be clear for those that's listening. If y'all got 3 mates, don't tell your mate you ain't going to do it, because y'all will do just the opposite and rise to the occasion. All right. Thursday is the best day for number 3s. Their best times of the year is always in March and December. And 3s have a gift with children, young people. 3 is international, global, universal. So they will find that in relationships, 3s will have either long distance relationships or deal with a mate from a different culture or different ethnicity or different cultural background. And 3s should always learn a second language if they can. This would explain why when they go to other countries, they never have a problem with the locals. So I'm sure Terry has traveled here to the States. He may have traveled elsewhere, but I bet you wherever this brother has traveled, he's never, ever had a problem with the locals at all. Next is the number 4. That means anyone born on the 4th, the 13th, because 1 + 3 is 4, the 22nd, 2 + 2 is 4, or the 31st of the month, because 3 + 1 = 4. Or if you're under the sign of Aquarius or Leo. Well, this 4s are the people that love to be different. If you tell a 4 person to do it this way, I swear they want to do it that way. So sometimes you got to think in reverse order, which is why 4s are known to be the number of secret enemies: jealousy, envy, insecurity. 4 people are very sensitive. They like to think outside the box, but they're very much ahead of their time. But the price they pay in the present is accusations of being accused of this, that, and the other, being a maverick or whatever. Yet 4s are very sensitive. The best day for all number 4 people are always on a Sunday, and especially in the months of February and August. Number 5 people, that is anyone born on the 5th, the 14th of the month, because 1 + 4 is 5, or the 23rd of the month, because 2 + 3 is 5, or if they come into the sign like you, Richie, Virgo, or Gemini, which I think is the young lady that was on the last 2 sessions, okay? Not to get in your business, but, you know, I'm just trying to point out some examples here, you know?
Oh, well.
Anyway, you know, ain't none of my business, Richie. So anyway, but 5 people are very clever. 5 people work well under stress. 5 people are multi-talented, multi-dimensional, So if you look at your zodiac sign, Richard, what you did, yes, they see you here on Black TV 7. If, away from that, you've done a little of this, you dabble in a little of that. You can also do this, that, and the other. So they wear a lot of hats. They almost say it's a master, jack of all trade and a master of none. But it's okay, because in the Renaissance period that Michael was talking about, different periods in history, that Renaissance period was where man expressed himself in all levels, expressed his musical talents, his creative talents, his inventive talents, his legal talents. So, you know, like Coca-Cola, you think all they do is sell Coca-Cola? They own Lay's potato chips, okay? And a couple of other things. So most of these global companies are multi-diversified in not only the main product that you think you buy, but some of the side products that you would never give an association to that. So that's how 5s are. 5s are quick in action. 5s are quick in thought. 5, it rules the written word. Most of the giants are literary, from Shakespeare to Michael Crichton to a couple of others, have been number 5 people. So if you were to write a book, Richie, you would do well. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't written something already. Or since you are a Virgo with a number 7, both these numbers are literary numbers. So I know that if I was invited to your home, your flat there in London, I would probably be amazed at the number of books, magazines, newspapers stacked on the floor, stacked on the bookshelves, whatever the case is, all right? And so it tells me a man of reasoning. So 5s do well also under pressure. Their best day is always on Wednesday, and their best months or times of the year is always in June and then the month of September, which is your birth number, okay? Next is 6. That is anyone born on the 6th of the month, the 15th, like today, 1 + 5 is 6, or the 24th of the month, because 2 + 4 is 6. 6 represents perfection. The way it goes in the Bible, day 1, God said, let there be light. And then along the days of the week, he was creating the world and stuff. And on day 6, he found that the world to his creation was to his perfection. So 6 people have this thing about perfection. This is why they're very hard on themselves. But 6s are very loving, caring. They have a great personality. 6s are always a work in progress. They always like to learn and go to school. They have good taste. And let me tell you guys, if you're dating a number 6 woman, you know, you're going to have to step it up with the monies, because they almost, if you take a 6 into a store, a 6 lady into the store, almost everything she see on that rack never matches what's in her pocketbook or on her debit or credit card, okay? So if you think you're going to be doing a cheapie on the number 6, don't embarrass yourself. I'm telling you that right now. And this goes for the men too. The men got, you know, so if you guys out there, a woman will tell you, if she's dating a guy on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th, he's a natty dresser, which means the best of clothing, the best of colognes, cars, home, things of that nature. 6s do well in anything of service. They do well in the arts, and they do well in the business world, from real estate to banking to working for the government and law. 6's best day is always on a Friday, and you will find that their best times of the year is always in the months of May and October. The number 7, that's those that are born on the 7th, like Richie, the 16th, like yours truly, or the 25th of the month, because 2 + 5 is 7. Now, 7 is the strong, silent type. We don't say much, but I would suggest you don't mess with us. Not Richie and I, because we're nice guys. But the point is, 7 people are very, very individualistic. They got a mind of their own. They like to think for themselves. And in fact, if you look at the famous statue, I think it's in France. It's the statue by Rodin called The Thinker. Well, that's how we 7s are, all right? And we always do it like that. We're always thinking and, you know, trying to analyze things. And we like to be our own best company too, all righty? And, you know, if you rub us the wrong way, we will go there. Like, okay, you need to take a long walk off a short bridge and keep walking. And they're trying to figure out that we just insult them or whatever the case is. So we're kind of laid back. I noticed one thing, though, different with the 7 women versus the 7 men, because 7 is very sophisticated, analytical, discreet. 7 women are often accused of being snooty, stuck up, or, hey, who do you think you are? And it's not that at all, but 7's gonna put all their business out there. And that includes us guys too. So people think that we're all trying to get in everybody's business. That's because we used to asking questions more so than giving answers. So, I mean, we will talk to you, but it all depends on who we share our information with. 7s is a worry number. 7 is the number of perfection. And 7 is God's number. I'm just going to expand on the 7 because I'm a 7. For example, if you look at the days of the week, 7 days, the number of weeks, 52, the number of continents on the earth, there's 7 continents. And I teach my kids, you always start with Africa, because if you don't start with Africa as the first continent, we got some problems in here, because that is the original source of all things from which life has sprung, okay? So there are divisions of 7. And in fact, if you look at the founders of great religious movements, from Christ, whose birthday is on the 25th, 2 plus 5 is 7. If you look at Bishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, he's born on the 7th of October. If you look at Elijah Muhammad, he was born on the 7th of October. Billy Graham was born on the 7th of November. If you look at Buddha, he was born on the 7th of February. If you look at Mary Baker Edie, she was born on the 7th month on the 16th day. 1 plus 6 is 7. If you look at Jehovah's Witnesses that sometimes have a problem with me, I remind them that Charles Russell, who was the founder of Jehovah's Witness, was born on the 16th of the month, and 1 plus 6 is 7. So for some reasons, people who are influenced by the 7 become founders of great religious movements in the world, okay? Buddha was born on the 7th, as I mentioned before, too. So, I mean, I don't want to belabor it, but if a Muslim goes to Mecca and makes his Hajj, he got to circle the cobblestone 7 times. When you circle the cobblestone 7 times, it is good. Then there's the 7 wonders of the world, the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the 7 deadly sins, the 7. I mean, I could do the rest of the show just on this. But 7 rules Monday, and it also rules the month of July. Now, the number 8, that is those who are born on the 8th of the month, the 17th, 1 plus 7 is 8, or the 26th of the month, 2 plus 6 is 7, okay? Or if they're under the sign of Capricorn or Aquarius, because that number is ruled by the planet Saturn that governs Capricorn and Aquarius respectively, as well as those numbers of the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th. 8 is considered the number of fate or destiny. If you talk to a number 8 person, in fact, Richie, what's interesting about our number 7, almost always we attract 8 people to us. So your mom or dad could have been born on the 8th, the 17th, the 26th, like my mother was born on the 26th or 8th. Or they come under the sign of Capricorn or Aquarius or something like that. But you always find that 8s will be drawn to 7s and 7s will be drawn to 8s. But 8 is a number of fate or destiny. So for example, if you talk to an 8 person, let's say they're hooked up with somebody. They'll say, well, yes, I married the person, but that wasn't the person I really planned to marry. But as fate or destiny would happen, I wound up marrying this person instead. I was going to go to this part of the world, but as fate or destiny happens, I wound up being in that part of the world. So this is why 8 people look to the heavens for divine justice, because they tend to be misunderstood on this planet. They tend to be misinterpreted incorrectly at first as being cold, distant, detached, lacking in feelings and affections and things like that. But the irony is they're just the reverse. They're warm, they're loyal, they're faithful, and they will stick with you through thick and thin. And when they feel they have God on their side, they don't budge. If you talk to a rabbi they will tell you that the compound number 26 of 2 plus 6 equals 8 is called the number of Jehovah or God. All right. So all these numbers have so many meanings, which is explained in my 400-page book, Numbers in You, and other books I've written on the subject that's available on Amazon.com. So anyway, so 8 rules Saturday, and it rules the month of January and February primarily. And saving the best for last, there's the number 9. That is those born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of any month, and especially if they come under the signs of Aries and Scorpio. Well, I have this standard joke saying 9s think they are the greatest thing since ice cream. That includes you too, Terry, okay? In other words, they don't, you know, I could say something, they said, listen, man, Lloyd, what that brother know about? He don't know nothing about me. You know, 9s are universal, they're global, they're international. They like to be the masters of their fate. They like to determine their own destiny, thank you. You do not dictate to a 9 and expect to get over. 9s are often drawn to areas connected to military, law enforcement, or handling tools, machines, or instruments of some kind. 9s are very inspirational and motivational. They tend to bring out the best in other people. And if I miss the 9, that means anybody also born on the 9th of the month, the 18th of the month, because 1 plus 8 is 9, or the 27th of the month, because 2 plus 7 is 9. They will find that their best days are always on a Tuesday, and their best months are always in the months of April and November. Now, I want to get back to 2020. Here in the States, as you know, this is an election year. And so it's interesting on the Democratic side, there's now been Joe Biden, who is a Democrat, who decided to select a woman, which is Kamala Harris. And what is interesting is this: Joe Biden is born on the 20th of the month, and Kamala Harris is also born on the 20th of the month. When they made the announcement, it was on the 11th of the month, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So this year, 2020, you have on the Democratic side of the presidential ticket, both the president and potential vice president, both born on the 20th day of the month. And the compound number 20 means raising the consciousness, raising the awareness, bringing, you know, the pulling a person's coat, leading a horse to water whether they drink or not, telling them what they feel is for their own best interest. So in this case, since Brother Rich, you're in a 11 or 2 cycle year, it means take your time. Don't rush for anything. Don't let anybody sweat you. And if you and Terry from time to time are on a different page this year, I wouldn't take it personal, because 2 is ruled by water. The cycle that Terry's in is ruled by fire. So therefore, he might want to rush where you want to take your time, and he might think you too slow, and we need to speed this puppy up. So it's kind of like that, you know? So this is some of the things that is expressed in numbers. I can talk about numbers all day. Some fascinations, for example, in history. World War I was fought in 1914. If you flip it around to 1941, that was World War II. There was a very popular book in the United States called 1984, The Year of the Big Brother. Well, that book was actually written in 1948 in just the reverse. In Egypt, Anwar Sadat was born in 1918, but was assassinated at the Egyptian airport in 1981. Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968, but when you flip it around to 1986, his name became a national holiday here in the United States. So, I mean, you can talk numbers all day long. It is so fascinating. And everybody has an individual number. So in your case, Richie, you're not just a 7. You are composed of several numbers, which is the 7, the 2, and the 5. So that means not only is Monday one of your best days, but Wednesday and Friday as well. And it doesn't mean that just July is one of your best months, but May and June, July, September, and October. If you look at Terry's born on the 12th of the month. 1 plus 2 is 3. But because he comes under the constellation of the sign of Scorpio, his numbers are the 3, 9, and 6. So he not only has Thursday as one of his best days, he also has Friday in addition to Tuesday. So since both of you as partners share Friday is a common day, your best days again, Rich, are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As for Brother Terry, his days are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you guys want to be on the same page, and this is how you hook partners up, this is how you hook couples up. You try to find out what is the common glue between the two. So since Friday is one of your best days, these are the days when you guys should get together to make your plans, strategize your next move, what you're going to do about the next event that is coming up for Black TV 7. You know, little things like that. So now, if anybody got questions, I ask them to please join us. I'll give them their numbers. I don't want to think we just hogging everything and I'm just talking about all for myself and you two guys. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a big world out here. But for anybody who wants to know about themselves, please share it with us. Gentlemen, do y'all have any birthdays in mind that I can get in their business?
There's my guy, 30th of the month. Wait, let me just backtrack. So there was somebody who had their birthday today.
Okay.
Yeah, their birthday.
And they're born the
today.
same day as the famous General Napoleon. Napoleon was born on the 15th of August, and other great people. Is this a male or female? Are you able to discern that? Because a male energy is totally different than a female.
I'm just trying to find them now. Where they at? Was it Betty? I think it's a woman.
If it's a woman born on this day and today's her birthday, it tells me she's...
Oh, Vilma. Yeah, all right. This looks like a female.
Okay. If it is a female and she's born on this day, it tells me she's a strikingly attractive woman. She can't help it, okay? In the sense that the number 6 is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of beauty and balance. So either her figure, her face, her demeanor will always give an attractive air to it. It also indicates she would always be a work in progress, wanting to go to school, always wanting to be in learning mode. Her tastes are exquisite, whether it's dining, food. And I tell a person who's, let's say you're dating a number 6 person, right? And you want to take her out on a dinner date, you don't take her out to McDonald's on the first date, because trust me, that's the last date. But if you take her out to a nice restaurant with nice atmosphere and things like that, you have a second chance. 6 people have a way of reading through people, which they refer to as the 6th sense. Being able to pick up on things, not because somebody told her or because she saw it, but because of the fact that she has this inner knowing. And if she follows her first mind, she should do well. Health-wise, it also indicates she may have some concerns with allergies, the nose, the throat, the upper part of the lungs, sensitivities with the mammary gland. So if she goes to the doctor, they will tell her, girl, go home. There's nothing wrong with you. You're good to go. And 6s can be very stubborn. So guys, if you're dating a number 6 woman, especially this one, it indicates don't get on the wrong side. Also, money, gifts, and favors will also come to her in some way. She also has a pleasant voice where she can make a singer. Some of the greatest singers from Bob Marley are 6. These are the persons, because it rules the vocal cords. And so therefore, she would have a pleasant voice, a pleasant demeanor in her vocal expressions and whatnot like that. And blue is her lucky color, from the lightest to the darkest. And happy birthday today.
That's all. All right. June the 30th.
Okay, that's the same day as Mike Tyson and a couple other famous people, Lena Horne.
This is a man, George Macon, friend of mine from Philadelphia.
Okay, well, he's born the same day as Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson busts him out. You know, when Mike Tyson was fighting, the rule was don't even get up to go to the bathroom, because when you get back, the fight might be over. So this gentleman is a fighter too, but in his own way. Fighter by his determination, fighter by his will and need to succeed. And the compound number 30 denotes mental superiority, which means this guy's always in thinking mode. And almost always, if you've been around it, like if you grew up as a kid, almost always everybody kind of, yeah, man, we'll go with you, George. You said his first name is George? Did you say his first name is George?
Sorry.
I think.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. But if his first name is George, it tells me he also adds a lot of analytical skills to his projection. He's very popular, very well liked. He does well with women from different cultures. although he know who he is and he knows about Black Lives Matter and red, black, and green, but at the same time, he's kind of a universal guy, okay? And he'll also get into long distance relationship where he's over here and his boo is over there. He's in Essex and she's somewhere over in another part of the UK. It'll be like that. But he's very, very determined. The only thing that bothers him is overstrain of the nerves, emotional upsets, and some concerns with the hip, thighs, or feet, especially more to his right side, as against some stomach concerns too. Now, his lucky numbers are the 3, 2, and 7, while Thursday, Monday, and Fridays are his best days. So anytime you want to get with your man George, you should make it on a Friday.
You know what was my mistake? Was that it's the 30th of July.
July, then that makes it even more so, because he becomes a fire sign with a fire number, which means he's passionate, driven, and this is a man that you can't tell no to. You cannot do this. It would only make him more determined to succeed despite whatever you say. Okay, that makes him determined. That's if he looks at some of the things he's accomplished as a kid coming up now into his adulthood, it's probably because somebody says, George, you can't do this. George, you'll never do that. And what he did was step to the plate and proved everybody wrong. That's his thing. And by the way, since he is July the 30th, that tells me he's in a cycle of change this year. He wants to turn his life around for the better. There's also opportunities coming his way too. And right now, for this month of August going into the month of September, he's kind of laying low, structuring and getting his act together, laying a foundation for his next move that's coming up next month.
4th of June.
The 4th of June,
Yeah.
male or female?
That's male, so I'm going to assume it's a woman.
Okay. If it's the 4th of June, it tells me this is a very sensitive young lady, a lady who is often misunderstood initially, where over time, as you get to know her, you begin to really admire or love her. She would have, I guess, although the sign of Gemini is a very friendly sign, yet her birthday suggests she has very, very few friends. And in fact, she's got 5 fingers on one hand, and she can count the number of friends with a couple of fingers left over. It's that like that. And what's interesting, so if I had to hang a motto over her door, I would say to know me is to love me in that sense. But she does like to think outside the box. She would do well along mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, technology, communications of all kinds. She's got a knack with numbers or gadgets and gizmos and things of that nature too. And she also attracts odd and unusual relationships. So even when she was dating, probably the first date she brought home my mother and say, honey, what's that about? Or her girlfriends would say, you know, like kind of weird. But she tends to attract people who are outside the norm by way of doing things or whatever the case is. And very sensitive, high-strung, easily wounded in her feelings too. Oh, and by the way, her numbers are the 4, the 1, and the 5. And Sunday, Monday, and Wednesdays are her best days, while her best months are February, June, July, August, and September.
All right, 30th of the 7th. And this is a female.
The
I'm
30th
not sure.
of September, okay. Same day as
7th.
30th of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. 30th of the 7th month.
Oh, we just read a person born on July 30th or the 30th. Okay. But this is a female this time.
This is a female.
Okay. Well, she, like her male counterpart born on July 30th, would have a similar energy because she is a fire number with a fire sign. And fire number and fire sign people, which she's a combination of both, are normally go-getters. They are very action-oriented, very result-oriented. So if there's a guy listening and wanting to talk to her, and yeah, I got this and that, do that, be prepared to show what you can do rather than just say what you can do. Because that number indicates that she is very, very determined to succeed. And by the way, her birthday suggests she doesn't do bums either. In other words, let's say she's dating this guy, right? And she's getting ready for work. Well, that guy better have some place to go than getting up in his underwear, turning on her TV and opening up her refrigerator. She don't play that. I can tell you right now, she don't do bums. She likes a man with ambition. She likes a man that's going places. And even if he doesn't, her attitude is, if you hang with me, I'll get you to where the next step you need to be. So in that way, it's good. And she attracts younger and older men from different cultures and long distance relationships too.
Okay. 19th of the 2nd, 19th of February, 86.
Okay, this is the 19th of February. They would be in the last stages of Aquarius or the first stage of Pisces, all depending on what time of day they were born and what region of the world. So, for example, it's like you guys are 5 hours ahead. So it tells me that they would be more like going toward the 22nd of the month, the 22nd of the month, in this case, born on the 21st. But be that as it may, this is a person with ambition, drive, get up and go. Very well liked, as most number 3 people are. A person who can express themselves through the written word or the spoken word. And people that, and normally 3s, they like pets or animals. And born on the 19th, you said too, they're very strong-willed. And so, by the way, this person also may wear glasses because they have sensitive eyes to bright sunlight too. But they love to determine their own destiny more than anything else. And since they're February the 19th, that tells me they're in a spiritual cycle year. And then next year or next month, or I should say, the month after September going into October, that's when she enters a phase where from there, sky's the moon, sky's the limits. So anyway, anybody that knows this person, they should hook their wagon to their star because they're going to do very, very well.
All right. Peter, and this is the 28th of September.
The 28th of September. So their lucky numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. But because they are born on the 28th, they have to be very careful who they put their trust in, who they trust themselves with, period, and how they seek and counsel themselves. Because their numbers indicate that they're very determined, very, honest, but they find that people are always honest with them. And they also have to be careful how they put their name on the dotted line too. They shouldn't let nobody rush and say, here, just sign this document right here. Not unless they go and pass their lawyer or look it over themselves. Because the person's birthday suggests they could be a lawyer, thinking like a lawyer, making their own decisions for that nature. And because they're born in the Yuko number of the number 1 and the Yuko sign of Pisces, without question, they don't look their age.
All right. The 4th of the 12th, 79. This is a female. She's on the screen.
Yes. This person is a fire sign with a fire number. So that means they're passionate, they're driven, they're fired up. So if a guy's coming into her mix and thinking she's just a cutie and you get over with it, that does not impress her as much as by your actions and by your deeds, okay? It also indicates that in the earlier part of her life, Richie, she attracted much older men. As she's gotten older, they become decidedly younger too. And to a degree, still have to show her ID when she goes into a club or on her way to another event where ID is required. And she's determined to make a name for herself and very popular, which is why it would be hard for her to sneak around because she always knows somebody who knows somebody. And she needs to learn a second language too. Her most important numbers are the 3, 9, and 6, which means Thursday, Friday, and Tuesdays are her best days. And she's got 6 months, which is March, April, May, and October, November, December. She's rare. July 30th, but female would the same apply. To the female born July 30th, yes. Except the female will put more of a feminine charm, but nonetheless be just as passionate about getting things done and making her way through life too. Yes. March 8th, this is Loretta. Now this person is a earth sign with a water sign with a earth number. So this is a nice combination. You know, anytime you grow in things on God's green earth, you take the seed and plant it in rich soil. That's her number. And then the seeds can stay in there as a soil for years until you magically come along and water it. So that tells me this is a nurturing kind of woman, Loretta. So if one needed someone to care for them, share with them, this is the person to have in your corner. If you need somebody who's very business-minded, who won't waste a penny of their money, nor yours, this is the person for you, okay? Do you know any of these persons that calls to verify what I'm talking about?
Some of them are verifying and saying very true. There are responses here, so they are. Right now, you're on point. You're on point. Nobody said
Okay.
what the hell is he talking about. We've had none of them do. You're good.
Okay. As long as I'm on point and helping them, that's the point of helping them so much as showing you how the accuracy of numbers work. Now, you got Sharon is born May the 31st. Okay, so it tells me right there she's under the sign of Gemini, and her key numbers be the 4, the 1, and the 5. Not only that, she would do well in any area with the mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, engineering, technology. And if she does work around gadgets and gizmos, that wouldn't surprise me at all. And yet very high strung with things, but her birth month told me that she walked at an early age. So she would be what is called a late bloomer. That is the last to get married, the last to have children. But I guarantee you, without question, she'll have the last laugh over everybody. And her numbers, by the way, again, are 4, 1, and 5. So that means Sunday, Monday, and Wednesdays are her best days. And this would include anyone born in February, June, July, August, and September. That would be it. Professor Koshan, am I pronouncing his name correctly?
Oh, Konsu, Professor Konsu.
Okay. You know, he's a professor, but they don't say what subject, but I'll say this. Most number 8 people are professors of history. So if he's a history professor, historian, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Do you know what his forte is?
Well, not an actual professor, but he does deal with historical subjects and young people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a counselor.
Well, his birthday suggests he's very mature, very misunderstood. So people would have to take time to know him. I think sometimes we get the notion that we push ourselves on other people, not knowing that there's a process, which is why I explained on the CD about relationships. You can meet a person and right away you hit or click. You meet another person and they didn't do nothing to you, but for some reason you're just not feeling. Well, that's how this may be. And so with this person, very, very determined, it also tells me they were out on their own between their 19th and 22nd birthday too. And this year for them is the year where they are creating some structure and organization in their life. It also indicates he might be changing of a diet or slimming back or doing less stressful things, but doing things that are more mental and unique in his own way. His birthday does suggest he'll have occasional headaches or concerns with the knees, teeth, or bones. And so if he does have something with his knee, it's probably more his left knee. April 14th. This is a young lady who is old when young and get young when she gets older. And if I were her, I would not mess with anything right now. Although her birthday does suggest these kind of things. She's bright, engaging, multifaceted, multidimensional, multi-talented, and can do anything to stimulate a person to take their lives to the next level. That's what I see. Her birthday does suggest she walked before she was probably 1 year old or close to it, or right after 1. And she's the kind of person where her key numbers are the 5, 2, and 7. Although she is a Cancer like the June 30th and whatnot, her numbers are different, 5, 2, and 7, where Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are her best days. And the months of February, June, July, August, and September are her months. Those are all her months. Anyone else? The 29th of August, a man, okay. This person born the same day as Michael Jackson, Charlie Yarborough Parker, and a couple other people, because here's the thing. It's a period whereby he is ruled by earth and water. So this is a nurturing kind of person. And because he's born on the 29th, which is a feminine number, you know, Michael Jackson had a line in one of his lyrics, "I'm a lover, not a fighter." And what that means is he gets along better with the women than he does you guys, okay? And so he would be like Mom's, maybe with her standard joke is the only thing a man could do with him is bring him another woman, all right? But then again, if he's not careful, women will wind up being his blessing and his curse. And so therefore, you know, women have some notion that, well, if I can't have him, nobody can have him. How that comes about in a lady's thought process, I don't know. But this is what I've known before. By the way, this gentleman is very psychic, very intuitive, and he should always follow his hunches about things. I think I did his numbers, the 2, 7, and 5, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays are his best days. His best dates would be the 2nd, the 5th, the 7th, the 11th, the 14th, the 15th, the 20th, 23rd, 27th, 28th, and 29th of any month. January 24. Okay. This is an Aquarius 6 person. And her key numbers should be the 6, 1, and 4, not the 6, 2, and 7. Because this is an earth number, which means very pragmatic, and coming under the sign of Aquarius, which means in their earthiness, they have unique ways of doing things, of getting things done. This person's lucky numbers are the 6, 2, and 7, and Fridays and Mondays are the best days. And they'll find that they tend to do well in March and May, October and December, more than any other time. And they tend to have problems with sinuses or allergies too. Who's the next? Okay, my birthday is the 3rd of October. Same day as the Reverend Al Sharpton here that everybody knows. I think even there too in London. This person has a lot of drive. There's this Wallace, or is it Una Wallace? Ona? I take it that's a female name, right? Ona?
And that's I think Una. Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, even if I didn't have the name you gave me this birthday, this person is what you call an air sign with a fire number, which is very compatible. And it means that they will do everything they can to get things done, get things accomplished. I tell 3 people, one of the things about them is it's hard for them to sneak around because they're always bumping into somebody. Okay? So let's say I took her to a remote island and we in the gift shop. Somebody say, "Hey, Onona, hey, Sister Wallace." I'll be saying like, "Yo, who know you here?" But that's the way they are. They're very popular, very well liked. And in fact, as she was coming up as a little girl, she probably knew some adults that even her mom and dad didn't know. That's how well liked she is. And so those are some of the things that we have. Can we pause 1 second, gentlemen?
Yes, Lloyd, because we have to take it to an end, Lloyd.
Okay.
If anything, we'll come back a bit later. But
okay, so that's it for now.
Yeah, that'll be it for now because we've got.
Thank you very much. Okay, and I'm sorry I have to step away quickly, gentlemen, but you'll take care and bless you both. Be well.
Family, I hope you enjoyed some of that. But, the next round, as I said, is you need to donate. Donate. Family, we need to put this thing up. We're going to our pockets. This is the foundation for our kids. As we've got some new people in the background.
Too many families that's been affected by wrongful death. This system and this country has tore apart my family and our families. You can't have a black family and be together. How many more funerals do we gotta go to? And how many more scenes of the crime do we gotta watch them chalk out black figures on the concrete before we realize that the only way for us to ever get out of this predicament is to struggle to survive.
What legacy are you leaving behind?
The Black Family First program aims to reconnect the family at the root.
Healing both ancestral and personal trauma by way of creating bonds through communication, understanding, reason, compassion, connecting oneself to family, friends and the community.
Reminding the older generation to be role models and mentors, and in turn, teaching the younger generation the building blocks on how to live, love, and respect one another for a stronger family union.
That way, the next generation bears the fruits of our labor and our experiences. Black power starts with your melanin, uniting the Black family first.
And my sisters, this is Brother Minister. Tune in to Black Eyes TV for the realest talk on violence, for the liberation of our people.
This is Black Eyes TV 7. The last obelisk. My mission is complete. Yeah,
take care of yourself.
Yeah, and people, you see it, we're gonna see each other soon.
Yes.